Well, what is going on, guys? QualityXA here today, and today I'm bringing you guys a brand new video on Destiny 2. So today we're talking about the brand new expansion coming. We have some new information on that, as well as an exotic weapon and some story information. So I'm not going to hold you back, and let's get right into this. So this comes from an article from PC Gamer. Now, they actually got hands-on with the game, so let's get right into this. So in terms of campaign length, I saw 8 missions, 2 of which are substantial enough that they are going to be added into the strike pool, and you can reasonably expect to play through it in a solid session. I sense some fans may find duplication of story missions as strikes disappointing, so I asked project lead Sam Jones about it. If you remember the director map from Destiny 1, we had strikes featured as part of destinations, as a discrete standalone activity, he said, and it complemented the overall story for a given destination. What we're doing is akin to that. It's not exactly the same, but it's a natural evolution. It's true that for the Taken King, the Sunless Sail and Shield Brother strikes were woven into the main story, Jones added. We also feel like our strike activities are some of the most expensive, most well-produced content. Not everyone gets to play them that much, so what we want to do is put these strikes front and centre and try to make sure more people can access that content and see it as part of the mainstream campaign. Now, that does sound very cool indeed. I'm glad that they are putting these strikes in. I'd really like to see some strike-specific loot to actually give me more of a reason to actually play strikes. I do find them quite repetitive and boring, but in Destiny 1 they were quite good because there was a huge variety of them, and also getting that strike-specific loot was really cool indeed. I really like the fact that there is actually 8 missions as well. They did say 2 of them are going to be strikes, so it does look only like 2 strikes are being added, but 6 missions is still quite a big amount depending on how long the missions are. But regardless, it does sound really cool indeed. Now we actually have some information on the campaign. There's nothing that I can point to and say Destiny has never done this before. It's wave of enemies, some light puzzling, and bosses with varying attack patterns, but all wrapped up in a buttery gunplay. Gorgeous art design and fizzy pyrotechnical effects that keeps fans playing long after they've left other shooters behind. As for actual new mechanics, there is one mission that very gently introduces some sparrow jumps, i.e. speeder bikes, and some even lighter randomization to the way you encounter enemies. This randomization happens in the Infinite Forest area on Mercury, which is a reality engine that simulates endless worlds created by the Vex in order to better understand their opponents. Enemies in the forest draw from all Destiny's antagonists, do very real damage, and may appear in different orders and locations with each playthrough. Essentially, imagine small encounters which are the trees being snapped together like Lego to get a sense of it. It does sound really cool the way that they're actually doing this Infinite Forest. I really love the fact that the Vex is actually taking their technology and simulating some of the stuff we'll see before. So we are actually going into the Vault of Glass again, but it will be a simulated version of what we've actually seen before. I really like the fact that they've actually put in one mission as well, where we're actually going to be using sparrows and have all these jumps. Maybe that will be quite fun. And also that could hint that we are going to see sparrow racing at some point again in Destiny 2's future, which again, I'm really hoping that they do this because it's just something that adds to the end game, and it was actually quite fun. I really do miss it. Also, before we move on to the next section, I did want to note that this was also said that we will be going and revisiting some other destinations from Destiny 2, such as the Pyramidion on Io and Jump Around in Time, as we track down what happened to the AWOL Warlock Osiris. So again, glad that we are going to the planets that we have been on before. I'm really hoping that we do get some new locations other than Mercury, but we'll just have to wait and see what this actually brings us. I'm not too sure what other areas we could see. I'm just really hoping for more expansive content rather than a load of content just being thrown at us, but will be interesting to see. Next, we're going to be talking about the ghost known as Sagira. So before we get into it, I did just want to let you know there is a spoiler incoming. So, You do spend a significant amount of time in combat with Sagira, his ghost, who hijacks your ghost early on in the story. She's quite a funny character, and as it says in this, Nolan North's performance is very tiresome. You do hear his voice. As you guys know, we've had him since Destiny 1. We did obviously have Peter Dinklage before that, who was amazing, but Nolan North, his voice is pretty draggy. We've heard him for so long now, so I'm glad that they are changing it up. And it does say that this ghost known as Sagira is going to have a lot of sense of humour as well as a banter side, which will be really cool indeed. Obviously changing up that boring, dragged out voice. And yeah, cannot wait to see what type of stuff she actually says to us. Next, we do actually have some free bullet points, what PC Gamer has stated, which come with some very interesting information. So, from the Vanguard, I received a new 450 rounds per minute auto rifle with the kill clip perk on it that might be nasty enough to replace my Uriel's gift, especially in PvE. So there we do get a brief look at a brand new weapon. We haven't actually seen this yet, but it does look like these weapons will actually change the way we play. I'm really hoping some of them are as good as what we've seen, but it does look really cool. Next, we've got those weathered looking weapons are destination weapons. So as you guys can see, I've got an image on screen now. These are the weathered weapons. These are going to be earned from subquests after the Curse of Osiris campaign has been completed. They're absolutely gorgeous and perfectly captured in Lost in Time vibe. So these are going to be the weapons that we can add Vex technology to. They do look really cool indeed. I'm hoping they're just legendaries, not exotics, but either way I won't complain, but they do look awesome indeed. Cannot wait to find the best weapon out of them ones. Next, we have the last bullet point, which is about an exotic weapon. I did manage to snag one of the exotics during my playthrough, a Vice grenade launcher called the Colony, which you guys can actually see in the trailer. It uses a detecting robot grenades which scurry around looking for a target if you miss your initial shot. So it does sound really cool, better than some of the exotic grenade launchers we currently have. Only 2 of them, and I have to admit they're not the best. They're quite cool in PvE, but when it comes to the perks that they do have, I do prefer the sound of this Vice grenade launcher, and it might actually make grenade launchers viable. We might even see a buff to some of the grenade launchers with this one coming forward. But again, really cannot wait to see how that actually plays out. It does look pretty awesome in the trailer. And yes guys, that's pretty much the video. There's not too much else to talk about. They do say obviously the level is going to be increased, as well as a level cap in power, which is going up to 335. They didn't hear too much or learn too much about the raid layers, which is what I'm hoping for in the next few weeks. But again, we'll just have to wait and see. But as always guys, if you did enjoy, please do leave a like. I know I was a little bit late to this information, but regardless, I'm bringing some of the guys who haven't seen or heard about this yet. But as always, peace out, and I hope you enjoy.